Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking out your time and joining us today for a webinar on better sales conversion and customer engagement through 3D product visualization. So I'm Jay Krishna. I take care of client engagement for Royal Cyber. So this is a joint webinar that we host with our client Augusta Sportswear brand and our partner HCL. So we are excited to have Debbie Kadanga, who is the Director of E-commerce System at Augusta Sportswear Brands. Brian Gillespie from HCL, he's the Director of Product Management for Commerce. And from Royal Cyber, we have Akhil Patania, who heads the e-commerce division, and Balamurugan, he's the digital architect. So once again, thank you and welcome everyone. And Bala, over to you, please.
Thanks for that introduction, JK. Um, so with that, let's go through the agenda of what we're going to see on this webinar. So we're going to talk about the Augusta Sportswear brands and then the business challenges which they faced, roadmap towards the 3D and web to print, and the technical solution for the problems which they faced, and the benefits to business based on the solution we provided. And following that, we're going to talk about the HCL Commerce version 9.1 features and HCL's position in 2020. Now, I would let Debbie to talk about Augusta Sportswear brands and the business challenges, roadmap towards 3D and web to print. Over to
Thank
you.
you. Sure. Thank you, Balu. At Augusta Sportswear brand, we are a collection of 5 brands, and it's Augusta brand and Holloway, High Five, Pacific, and Pacific Headwear, and Russell Athletic. And we are a manufacturer and a distributor of the sportswear products, mostly in the team sportswear. When the school and college kids go and play the games and the leagues and the teams that wear the uniforms, we are provider of that uniform, the sportswear there. And we have sales and marketing and the corporate office here in Augusta, Georgia, and we have our manufacturing plants in Mexico. So yeah, we are excited about the sportswear, and a lot of kids play that team, and they wearing their uniform is probably one of their happiest days before the game starts, and we bring that smile to the kids there, and they are very excited about it. It's we promote the sports culture and makes that community stronger together, because we all remember the Friday night game when we cheer up for our own team. You know, like we might have sibling rivalries at home, but when we go, we cheer up for our brothers and sisters. And we the mission that at Augusta Sportswear, we encourage the outdoor healthy lifestyle and through the games, and promote that healthy communities there. So that's about the introduction about what we do here. Nothing related to only the clothes or only the technology we were about to talk, but the mission and vision is basically to have a outdoor sports activity and make a healthy lifestyle and a connected communities. Coming to the business challenges, you know, like there are a lot of business challenges there. You know, like especially it's a very competitive market and very competitive and challenging time. But we'll most likely talk about our sublimation business and its and challenges today. Sublimation is a technology where we can make custom garments. It's very specific technology where we can make the print on a blank garment and produce any kind of garment that any kind of design that we can produce there. So from a business challenges perspective, you know, it's very nice market, and then we have a dominated competitive market there with other players being there, as well as from our perspective when we are looking at this one, we wanted to put a very intuitive user interface in place, because what happens on a custom garment is it's you know, like we need to make the UI so clean and crisp that the user doesn't get bogged down with too many options here, too many challenges there, like selecting the colors, selecting a text location, selecting a image that they wanted in a particular position and all these things. It could be really overwhelming. So what our biggest thing that we wanted to address there is a very intuitive and simplified user interface. And the second thing there is to make sure that we capture all these capabilities and features and put it into a mobile friendly and responsive design, so that it can work with a large desktop, small desktop, tablets, and mobile phones. The vision is that we need to also make it speed that in a way that somebody should be able to design a garment while they're waiting on a stoplight. That's the objective that we set for ourselves, that when somebody is there in a traffic stoplight for a minute or two, they should be able to produce and design and share it with somebody to get a review back from there. That's one of our initial visions. So one of our biggest challenge was to improve the user interface and put it in a way that it can work for the customers. And the second one is also that we have a lot of partners who are interested to integrate that one among them on their website. So we wanted to build it also in a way that it's modular, so that it can be very easily integrated into a partner's or the customer's website. So those are some of the challenges we have. And the second point there is to make a dynamic product visualization. So on the cloth business, there is no touch and feel on the e-commerce. So what we want to create that visualization in a way that they can see very real time how they would see. Like we wanted to simulate a very high resolution, three-dimensional imagery there, so that when the customer is able to look at that, when they get a 360 view of that garment, like it is that's very important. And also we wanted to package it in a way that they should be able to see the different color, different selections, different designs of that same garment, because it's a custom product. Everything can change on the garment except for the cut part, like however it's cut, but everything else can be changed. So we wanted to make sure that that product visualization with 360-degree change with all different design lines, different colors, different custom configurations, all work seamlessly. The third most important thing is, as I said, that it's a garment concept that get printed on in a blank. So for example, and the way it works is like the colors get infused into the texture and the cloth, so that it stays with the cloth. So that scalable production file is the key to this whole business. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to simulate a web to print technology where we see something on the web and we generate a print file, very high res scalable vector graphics on the back that goes to a printer and get printed on the garment, and then it comes out, the product that comes out, whatever the customer wanted, with their own coloring, or only text, only image, whatever they wanted, whatever they saw on the website, and the final product needs to match exactly what they saw before. And it is scalable in the sense, like if it is extra large garment versus a small garment, everything fits to the scale. Those are our challenges there. As well as the order entry process, like fully integrated cart and checkout process we wanted to do with it. And like it's complicated pricing structure, complicated inventory management structure, because it's all the make to order kind of scenarios. Then we get the order, then we make it and deliver it, so that customer interaction throughout, to make sure that we have a like a reduced manufacturing time for these custom products, to give the customer a very accurate and like a to the point lead time, like how long they have to wait to get their garment printed for that one. All kind of art approval processes that needs to happen, that if they upload it in a custom art that needs some redrawing, it needs to make sure that they get their product the way they wanted it to look like. So all those things were what our challenges, as well as we wanted to give them kind of a locker room capability where they can go and see all their previously saved designs that they've stored, as well as they have the reorder capability. If they've ordered something that one piece is lost or one piece is torn apart, it's a game while kids are playing outside. If something just didn't work, they should be able to reorder those things, or year on year too. So like next year they have very similar thing, they just wanted to reorder that one or change that one with a little bit and order it. So those are order entry challenges that we had. Another most important thing is the product load process. It's a complex product structure. It has all different kind of color selections somebody can do. It's all different kind of locations. Somebody can write their name or their team's name, or they can write their player numbers, or all different kind of locations where they can put their logo, they can put a flag, they can put endorsement brandings that somebody sponsored for that game. It's like whole garment is customizable. Everything is custom. Everything can be customizable there. So making a data load process that is smoother, as well as it has a to the scale production art file generated for it, and creating all these 3D objects ahead of time and the design lines is a complicated process. We wanted to make sure that when the product development team conceives something to make their load processes easier is one of our challenges that we wanted to address. And again, like challenges are unlimited. There are a lot of business challenges, but a few others to call out is to collect the analytics data that we can use for our business decisions for future. That's very important aspect of this one, because unless we understand the business, unless we collect the right data, we will not be able to make the future decisions that's going to be rewarding to us. So we wanted to make sure that all these custom selections and the custom options, as the visual is doing it, we collect those analytics so that we can put it into the right prospect to make business decisions. So just to list a couple of them out again, like business is very dynamic, its challenges constantly change. When we started this project, these are some of the high level challenges that we wanted to address as a part of this project. Next slide there, Balu. So the roadmap towards the 3D to web to print. So the dynamic product visualization that I was talking about, that is a very important aspect of making sure that the customer gets a 360 view of what garment they're designing. They're looking to the perfect what they want, but also it produces the files at the back end that can go to the printer and print exactly identical to what customers wanted. Is one of our toughest challenge. And we used the Adobe Scene 7 service before to do that service, rendering service. And when we heard that it is that the technology is getting sunsetted, it was a very difficult and different challenge for us. But we didn't want it to give up or take a different route. So we looked at that. This is so much value to our business that it makes the print files in a way that it is close to what the customer has seen before, and it is close to the point that it is scaled. It's very scalable, so that the garment prints exactly the scale that it is. And we wanted to look at for a solution that we can homegrown it, and we did. We put our brains together to identify different ideas and different things, and make sure that what you see in this presentation here, what they see on their mobile screen, the garment is what we are producing on the right hand side. What you see there is that goes to the printer to get it print. At this, so that's one of our objective that we wanted to achieve, to make sure that we have a seamless visualization on the front end on there, and whatever the device they wanted it to be seen it and able to customize it. But when they make an order, we should be able to print and make exactly the same garment that they wished for, and there is no assumptions that the customer is making, and they are getting exactly the product that they saw before and during the ordering process. At this point of time, I'll take a pause, and I'll let Balu play a small video, and then we'll talk about how we make all this stuff that we worked on to make it technologically work. And again, our creative digital team, who has extremely pioneered on the look and feel, the user interface improvements, and conceiving the idea of like the whole how to do it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, how to do a save and share, how to intuitively put all the information in such a small screen. A lot of credit goes to our digital and creative team who has put a lot of effort into that one. But again, nothing works without a dedicated technical team is there to make sure that the vision is materialized and working there. So with that, I'll let you play a small video there, Balu, and then we'll talk about it later.
Sure.
So what this presentation is about is basically like how intuitively we have packaged all this stuff, all this like the different options, different colors, different customizations, to intuitively put it into the UI section and with all different multiple devices. It's just a small marketing video that that I just wanted to play through it here. Just to get a feel of what we are trying to achieve there. So.
Thank you, Debbie, for the detailed session there. So let me go over the technical solution part of what we just discussed. The first part of the technical solutioning is the infra. First step on that one is the infrastructure and then the technology stack, what we use to accomplish it. So in this infrastructure or technology stack, if you see the HCL Commerce itself is kind of a base, and every other technology or tools which we use is kind of an integral part of it. So we are using AngularJS for front-end modeling to create the 3D configurator. We have chosen AngularJS for its better performance, especially when we dynamically bind the data from the backend system in the front end. And then the next one is the 3JS. And 3JS is open source JavaScript library, which is built on top of a WebGL standard. So this is 3JS is a better framework to render 3D object on the web. So it has a lot of capabilities to alter the 3D objects rendering on the website. We can adjust the lighting, we can adjust the shadow, we can add a lot more dynamic components into the 3D model by using the 3JS framework. So we have used that one to create this 3D configurator. And there comes the Blender. So that is actually the base. Blender is again an open source 3D modeling tool. We have used that to create the 3D objects. So this is kind of a base for us. Everything starts with Blender. So we create a 3D models in Blender, and 3D team creates it in Blender, and they optimize it to load it in the web. So we cannot load the huge 3D object in the web, as everything needs to be optimized to render it in web. So all those activities we do it with Blender. And then the REST services framework. So the REST services framework on Commerce is heavily used for this 3D configurator. Since we developed this using AngularJS, it's completely a separate part of it. It's kind of a headless commerce, so it runs independently of the backend system. So that made us to expose all the components what we had as a RESTful services, which will be utilized by 3D configurators. So the REST services is it's used pretty much for that one. And then the search spring, that is again a separate system which is for used for product merchandising and search capabilities. That provides a lot of freedom to business users to rank the products or to display different design lines at the top. So then there are a lot of capabilities with the search spring. So that is again another thing which we used to merchandise the products. And then the web to print solution, as Debbie was talking about, we wanted a very high resolution images which needs to be printed. So we created a new system for that one, and the base for that one is the scalable vector graphics file. So we use SVG, and we built a system on top of that one. And we are using InRiver PIM, that is a product information management system. We're using that to manage the complex the data structure for the configuration products. So especially when we talk about configurations. The data model is going to be tricky, so everything gets managed in River PIM and it will be fed to e-commerce via the data load process. And then we have Spring Boot microservices. That's again for we created a new system for rendering the images dynamically based on the user selection, as Debbie was showing before. When customers select any specific design or color, we'll be calling a microservice to render the image based on the configuration whatever the user is making. So that is again the other stuff we used to create a new system. So from the technology wise, so these are all the systems which we used. Now let's go in detail and talk about like the workflow of how the 3D. So the first thing is like when we started this project, we had 2D images before. That's how it was working earlier. So the input for us to start with is that we had only 2D reference images of every product. So with that as an input, like we used a Blender tool to create a 3D model based on the 2D images which was provided to us. So the look and feel was exactly to match whatever the reference images which was provided to us, and we used a Blender to create the 3D object. So, and then once the 3D object is created in Blender, it can be exported into any different formats, whatever we would want to display in web. So there are popular formats like OBJ, FBX, and then GLTF. So these are all the popular formats to render any 3D objects in the website. So like we can export it in any format from Blender, and that can be again fed to our website, where we'll be using a Three.js framework as I was mentioning. We'll be using a Three.js framework to load the 3D object files in our website. So that is how the 3D workflow works. And then once the OBJ file is created, there comes the 3D configurator page. So the 3D configurator page, for a customer to complete an order, there are 5 steps for them to do. The first one is a design process, where they can go and choose different designs for that product. Be a number of designs available for the product. They can pick any of the design, and then they can select the colors for the design whatever and they've selected. They can choose the colors for different zones. Every design can have multiple color zones. A certain design might have 10 different color zones, so we provide a capability to customers to change every color zones on the garments. And then and there is a text and logo step that like the customers can enter their custom team name or player number, or even they can upload their own team logo as well. So that will be instantly rendered on the 3D object. So whatever the changes they do on the configurator, they'll be seeing it on the 3D object right away. So that is the thing on text and logo. And then the roster tab is nothing but the players for like we can add the player name and number for that jersey. So if there is going to be like 20 players in that team, then customers can add 20 rosters, and they can enter the player name, number, and they can choose the size of the jersey, and ultimately they can add it to the cart after going through the summary tab. The summary tab is going to show them the view of all the rosters, whatever they entered, so they can see how each and every player name is going to look on the garment. So they don't need to wait until the production art proofs are getting created. They can instantly see the player name. So some player name might be bigger, which might not fit into the garment. So they'll be able to visualize everything even before they submit the order. So once they see that in summary, they can just do the checkout. So that is how the process of the 3D configurator works. So with that one, the configurator page is created using the AngularJS version 6. With the backend services is completely served by HCL Commerce. So we are using HCL Commerce as our base, and all the services, all the data modeling, and every data we needed to paint that page comes from the services in HCL Commerce. And then we're using merchandising associations and attribute dictionary data model, um, store the various configuration options. In HCL Commerce, we have a dynamic kit for storing the configuration products like this, but we have not used the dynamic kit as like it needs an external system to configure the product. This is a solution which we developed. Like we utilize the existing data model in HCL Commerce, and we have created a 3D configuration tool. So the merchandising associations, anyways, so what are the configuration options for a product? Everything will be added as a merchandising association so that we'll know what product is associated with what are all the configurations, and we will paint the page accordingly. And similarly, attribute dictionary is also used to render the configuration options on the web page. And then the dynamic image, so for every change which user is making on the website on the configurator page, for every change there will be a new image created, the flat 2D image, and that image will be wrapped onto the 3D object, and that's what we see at the end. So ultimately it is generating the 2D image at the back end, the flat image, and that gets wrapped on the 3D object at the runtime. So and then customers can upload their custom images. It can be either a raster image or vector image. Like either they can upload JPG, PNG, or they can upload a vector files like a Illustrator file or EPS file. They can upload any different file format, and they can instantly preview that as well. They don't need to wait for the art proofing. They can visualize how it's going to, how the custom logo is going to look on the garment instantly. And then there is another process with the configuration. So whenever customer makes any configuration, there is a price and then the time which is correlated with that. So for that, we created a new data model in HCL Commerce to accommodate all those changes. So say, for example, if customer uploads a raster image, that will add probably 5 days on their lead time. They need to wait 5 days extra. So it gives a clear picture to the customer, like what configuration they are making and what how much time they're going to wait and what will be the price increase for whatever the configuration they are using. So we created a custom data model for that one. And then finally, once the customer creates the design, and when they save it, we save all the configuration options in a JSON format. For that also, again, we created a custom data model to store all the configurations in JSON, which will be used in the downstream processing, like production or file generation process, or for reordering, we need to refer back to the configurations, whatever they made. So JSON is a pretty standard format, so we used JSON to store all the configurations. And then customers can enter the raster details and preview it on the summary page. Like they can visualize everything before even they submit the order. So that is the process about the configurator page. And then we go and talk about the Web2Print solution, what we developed for this customer. So SVG file is nothing but a vector file. It can be scaled to any level. So that is again a standard web standard which we have used for this one. So for every design which needs to be printed, we have a SVG template for that one. So what we are doing with that SVG file is, based on the user's configuration, we manipulate the SVG file at the runtime. So the SVG file will be initially, that will be flat and plain. When customer goes and starts adding some of the design lines or colors or text, we will be manipulating the SVG file at the runtime, and that will be rendered to customers either as a PNG file or as a PDF file, which is suitable for printing. So this is the manipulation of this SVG file. We are doing it using the Spring Boot microservices. So we get all the parameters in the request, and then we manipulate that SVG, and we generate the dynamic image based on the configurations. And then the next challenge is about the color conversion. So what we see on the web cannot be printed as it is on the printer, because the color what we see on the web might be completely different when we print it on the printer. So the web standard is RGB, and then for printers, then the standard is the CMYK color. So there is a color conversion before we send it to the printer. So we convert all the RGB colors to CMYK colors, and we get the updated SVG file. And then once that is done, again we'll be scaling it to the printer level. So what we see on the web might be just 2K image, but for printer we might need a 10K image to get printed. So we scale the image to the level what it is needed for printing. And finally, once the file is created, that will be um, sent to printer and will be printed on the garment. So that is the solution we developed using and the SVG. And then the new enhancements includes earlier the sublimation products was sold in a separate website, so we combined that into a single website. Now customers can like see the sublimation products and they can purchase it under a single cart. So that is one of the enhancements which we have done for this customer. And then manual order entry process to automatic order processing, like they have to enter the orders manually. Before, now with the cart and checkout flow, customers can just go and design something and add it to the cart, and they can check out eventually. And then uh, there is another capability which we provided with the 3D configurator is the customers can create a design in our 3D configurator, and it can be shared with others too. So they can share it with others with edit and without edit capability. So they can customers can create a design and they can share it with their team members, and they can make the modifications together and they can place the order. So like there is a capability for that one too. And once the order is submitted, customers can see those designs. As Debbie was mentioning, the locker room concept, they can see all the designs, whatever they saved and whatever they placed. They can get in there and they can just do the reordering pretty quickly. They don't need to redesign anything again. They can just reorder it and they can submit the place the order instantly. And then the plugin store integration. As Debbie was mentioning, the other challenges which they were having is to integrate this 3D concepts. We have invested a lot on this technical capabilities which need to be integrated with other partner websites also. So like we created a component which can be easily embedded into any other customer websites. If we just include that component piece of code, then you'll be seeing the 3D configurator in the customer's website. They don't need to do any other configuration. So we created that capability as well. And then we created a RESTful API to submit the sublimation orders. So since this is a complex order structure, so we created a RESTful API to submit the order, which is used by the external customers to submit an order in our system. And then the Intriver PIM implementation that like we implemented, we used Intriver PIM to implement a complex data structure for the 3D configurator processes. So with that one, I'll just hand over to Debbie to talk about the benefits of whatever the solution we provided.
Sounds good there, Balo. I'll take it from here. So our objective at the beginning is to be the sublimation disruption. So we wanted to change the marketplace and the way people think about this product line, starting from usually from very long lead times that, okay, I place the order now or design something right now. A artist has to go and redraw everything from the beginning, and then get it approved from the customer, and then it goes through the manufacturing process. So one of the major objective of this one is to make the disrupt the sublimation business in the team space, and transform that market. And we have been very successful in doing that with the launch of the freestyle branding for the sublimation. We have increased our customer base significantly more, and our site visits has gone multifold there, and converting that one into dollars in terms of the in the sales. So what we achieved as a part of this one is we become the trendsetters of how it should be working. With increased revenue, increased customer loyalty, and more customers being coming towards us and having a bigger wallet share from each customer for the sublimation business. And it also gave our sales force and sales team a good like a good tool set on their on them, to make sure that they, when they go and talk to the customer, they they look very smart in front of our end customers. The way we also integrated this one is we integrated this sublimation like product line with our existing blank product line. So the way we did the merchandising association, merchandising the products, is we did not distinguish between a blank product versus a sublimation product. So the blank product customers can still see a sublimation product next to it, and vice versa. So it makes a better acceptability with the customers, not having two different websites or two different lines of product there. So yeah, we had a like extremely higher usage of the website on our sublimation builder. It's over 5, 6, 7 times more traffic that comes to the website. And we not only retained our customers, we have increased our customer base, and with these products and the customizations, we look pretty good. From the business processes point of view too, we have significantly improved with this project. The product launch cycle is better, and we have built the tools for them in a way, and we define the processes in a way that launching a new product with the sublimation platform is easier, better, and accurate when it launched for the first time. And also with the analytics, we are getting smarter about what products are going to sell, and what is the customer is clicking, and what is the customer is looking for. So all that analytics that we're collecting is helping not only what we're doing today, that what we're going to do in future too. Over to you, Balu.
Thanks, Debbie. So we'll have a short demo on whatever the capabilities which we discussed, but before that I'd like to hand over it to JK for just a short introduction about Royal Cyber.
Perfect. So Royal Cyber, we are an IT consulting digital transformation company. We are specialized in IT services, solutions, and software innovating. And we have been in the business for the past 18 plus years, and we have close to 600 plus happy clients worldwide. Our global footprints includes USA, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Middle East, and Asia as well. So we provide reliable and high performance in commerce, cloud, analytics, mobile, and all AI middleware and solution services. So yes, please, over to you, Bala.
Sure, thank you, JK. So this is the Augusta Sportswear Brands website, where we have both custom products as well as the blank products selling under the same catalog. So we have a custom category wherein can see all the sublimation products in there. I'm going to choose basketball jerseys, and all these products are customizable products, so I'm going to pick any one of them from here. There is a capability to change the design lines right here and see how it's going to look before
One important point to call out here there while we're seeing these pages is, even though all these things are 100% customizable product, we launched them with inspiration. So all these inspirations as it is giving the customer an idea of what this product can look like. So we also build those concepts as a part of our project to make sure that the marketing team and the business team can build these things as inspiration images from the what we put in our catalog. So when the customer is coming to the website and they have a paper catalog or a digital catalog, they don't find it very alienated. They find it very connected together. So they can make sure that what they saw there in the paper catalog or the digital catalog, and they come to the website for real ordering, they find the rhymes are there. Go ahead, Balu.
That is true. Thanks for that, Debbie. Yeah. So with that one, we see all the design lines here. Customer can choose the design line right here and see how it's going to look even before they go to the configurator page. So I'm going to select this design line and going to get into the configurator page. So what we see here on this page is actually a reversible product. So like I picked a reversible product just to show the capability of 3D. So it can be so user can visualize how it's going to look on the interior of the garment too, as it can be worn on both the sides. They can click on the design inside and they can see how and the garment is going to look. So this is the tab which I was talking about, the first design tab, where they can choose different design lines, and then they can go to the color tab. They can change the color right here. So for every selection, what we see here, there is an image, blank image, which gets generated at the back end. Just wanted to show that one too, what it gets generated. So this is the blank image which gets the flat image which gets generated and gets wrapped onto this 3D image dynamically. That happens for every selection, whatever. So every selection, color selection, or when I go and change this specific text to something else, there is a new image which gets generated and wrapped onto the 3D object. So they can upload a custom logo right here, and they can use already a stock logo. There are a bunch of stock logo in our system. They can choose anything from this one, and they can change the positioning where they want. The positioning is completely configurable again. If they wanted to put it on a different location, they can just add it there, and they can reduce the size, or they can move it around on the garment. They have all the capabilities to customize the way how they wanted it. So now with that text and logo tab, there is a raster tab. I can go and enter the player name and number. They can choose the size for the user, player. They can add it to the list, and they can instantly preview it. Okay, this is how the player name and number is going to look on the garment. For example, if I put a bigger name, that's still going to show the customer like how far it is going to go into the garment and how it's going to look. So and then the summary tab, when we go in there, it provides the entire picture of how the front side and the interior side of the garment is going to look for the specific design. So here they can just log in and they can add it to the cart and they can check out, or they can just click on this shave and share, and they can choose it with others, and they can share it with others. There is a edit capability and cannot edit capability, so they can share it with other team members, and they can collaborate together, and they can finally submit the order to there is a capability for that one too. Sure. So we go back to the presentation. So with that one, I'll hand over the session to Brian to go over the HCL Commerce new features and then the HCL's position in 2020. Over to you, Brian.
Thank you, Bala. Appreciate that very much.
Sure.
While we're transitioning over, I want to first say thank you to DB and Royal Cyber for everything. It's always great to see our solution live in production and some of the innovations that our business partners and our customers are putting on top of it. So great job. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll make this pretty quick. I know we're coming up to the top of the hour. I want to give time for any questions that people may have out there. Let's just talk a little bit about the 9.1 feature. So we just delivered our 9.1 version 9.1 in June of this year, and we really focused on three main areas. Number one was the world-class experience, optimized merchandising, and cloud-native commerce. For world-class experience, what we did is we understand that the experience, not only just from the end user, but also your business users and practitioners, they want to have that experience that drives, not only revenue, but drives the simplicity of maintaining the solution. So we developed and we delivered a new storefront for both our B2C and B2B customers as a single page application. We have a React storefront. We also support PWA. So really great new storefront using that front-end scripting language to drive the innovation, and really it is completely headless. So we're leveraging our same APIs that here in this demo that we saw that Royal Cyber is doing is we're using those same APIs, keeping that head or that user experience completely separate to drive innovation much faster, right? So as you make changes to the front end, you do not have to touch your back end solution around the transactions, pricing. All you have to do is worry about your front end. So we completely rewrote that front end for our customers. We also are reinventing our business user tooling. So we had some old legacy tooling that we brought into CMC. We are using Angular for our business tooling as we convert the old tooling into the new, as well as we're in the process of reinventing Management Center from the ground up as well. We have a whole project going on around that. That'll be further out, probably later next year. But we are using like I said, the new single page applications and the new business user tooling that we developed in CMC or our Management Center. The next one is around optimized merchandising. This was probably the biggest hurdle for us to get over to get 9.1 out. And this was all around search. So historically, and DB and Royal Cyber are well aware, in versions 8 and versions 9.0 and version 7, we use Solr as our core engine for search. We still support Solr in version 9.1, but right next to it, we put in Elasticsearch. And we also augmented Elasticsearch with a bunch of other capabilities, including natural language processing. We also have what we call some capabilities around color mapping and dimension conversions. So what we can do is if you're searching for the color red, but in the catalog it's actually noted as maroon, we can go ahead and those two colors are very similar in the color mapping, so we'll actually return those maroon products even though you searched for red. Natural language, we understand now when the classic example is you're looking for red dress shoes. Well, are you looking for something red? Are you looking for a dress? Are you looking for shoes? Or are you looking for dress shoes? I'm actually looking for red dress shoes. So we have the ability to go ahead and start parsing out that search term, understand the nouns, the adjectives, and so forth to know exactly what those users are searching for to bring back the utmost relevant results for those customers. And then the third area that we focused on was cloud native, and we've been containerized now for about 2.5 years. We continue to invest in cloud native capabilities. We are cloud agnostic. If a customer wants to run on-prem, you're more than welcome to run on-prem. If you want to run in Azure, AWS, GCP, IBM Cloud, it is completely up to you. We support all those clouds anywhere where Docker is supported. So we will continue to invest in cloud native commerce to make it, to really bring down the total cost of ownership, to allow our customers to absorb our containers that we're delivering on a rapid basis, which leads me into my next slide, the next section, which is just where we're at from 2020. And this has been so much fun at HCL. June, we delivered our big release, 9.1. Since then, we've already released 2 more releases, 9.11 and 9.12, and we're expecting version 9.13 to come out already in a couple of weeks here. So within, we're on track to deliver releases about every 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. Our next big release, so the big releases are denoted here in the orange color. Our next big release is going to be in December. I purposely have left those areas up on top blank, just because there's a lot going in, and I really didn't want to dwell too much and spend too much time. Would love to talk to everyone that's interested. I'll put my contact information up in a minute, but in December, I'll give you a little sneak peek. We are really investing heavily on analytics. So part of the the business user tooling will have some embedded analytics for around the KPIs on that storefront. So really excited about analytics. We have a bunch of other things going on with storefront, with search. So a lot of neat and really not just neat, but innovative capabilities to drive more revenue for our customers, such as Augusta Sportswear. And then you could see past December, we already have our March and June releases noted in there. I guarantee there'll be a release between December and March. We just don't have that formalized yet. And there will definitely be another release between March and June as well, some minor releases. So I wanted to give you guys a little heads up on 9.1 and a heads up on what we're delivering here in the near future. And really quickly, I'll throw my information up on the screen. You're more than welcome to reach out to me at any time. I know Augusta Sportswear, if you guys would love to work with you, I want to understand, get a little bit deeper into what you guys are doing here in the future. And Royal Cyber, I've known you guys forever. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. And anyone that's listening out there, please, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. I'll turn it back over to Royal Cyber.
That just wanted to add my 2 cents there too, Brian. Like we have been the commerce product user for over 12 years now, and we are very proud of this environment and the support. It's very stable and very reliable, and for the complex pricing and the inventory positions that we have, mostly because of the manufacturing and business to business scenarios, it's been really a good product for all of us. And when we are first conceiving this project, and we are looking for how to handle this complex customizations, product structure, and all these things, starting from all the way to Sterling products to, which is very expensive product, to all different kind of composer products that we are looking at, but we could leverage the merchandising associations of the commerce framework to create this one very artfully without spending a ton of money outside on different products. So just wanted to give my 2 cents on that one, that we have been very, very pleased and happy with the product that we're using.
Thank you very much, DB. I appreciate that.
And excited to see the new stuff that's coming up too.
Can't wait to talk to you next.